Greetings from the Community Center, and this is Community Journal, Channel 18's weekly program. And today we have as our guest Ginney Hewitt, Director of the Brooks Free Library. And we're happy to have Ginney outside. It's a beautiful day in Cape Cod. And we have a beautiful woman with us.
Oh, what an intro. I have to come more often. It is a beautiful day out here. I just wanted to stop by because this year the library's had a booth at the Music in the Port on Wednesday nights at the chamber sponsors in Harwich Port. And one of the questions we get asked a lot by people who use the library regularly don't know that we have museum passes available. And these provide, they're paid for by the Friends of the library, and they provide discounted or free admission to a lot of different attractions. Some are local, like the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History. We have Brooks Academy Museum passes available too. The Cahoon Museum of Art in Hewitt, the Cape Cod Museum of Art and Heritage Plantation. But other passes are...
That's a big one there. I mean,
yeah.
It costs a lot of money to get into the Heritage Plantation.
Right, and that's a nice service. That gets used a lot too, all the time that they're open. We have more regional attractions too, like the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. Actually, Boston by Foot. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh,
they
yes.
do walking tours.
Yep.
We have the Roger Williams Park Zoo in Providence. Actually, in Boston, there's also the Sports Museum. Have you heard of that?
It's kind of moved around quite a bit. I don't know where it is anymore.
It's right in the garden.
In the
I was going to say Boston Garden, but back
You're
in my
dating
day,
yourself.
yeah, I am. Have to get up there and see the Bobby Orr statue,
Right.
especially with the Bruins having won this year. So there's lots of things like that. We also have Plymouth Plantation, which is very popular. So if you have visitors from out of the area, that's something they'd probably like to see.
That's a very expensive tourist
it is.
thing as well.
It is.
Yeah.
And the Massachusetts State Parks, we have a pass for that. So if you wanted to get into Nickerson Park for free, you could do that. One of the great things with the Clams Network, too, is you can look at all these passes online. And that way, if you wanted to go to, say, the Museum of Science on a certain day, and our pass was already booked, you could see what other library might have it available. So you might go to Brewster to pick it up, but you could reserve it online. And it's, instead of in prior days, you would have to call around to all the other libraries and see who had it and whether it was available that day. So that's nice to be able to use the Clams catalog from home to do that. We're always happy if people call us. We'll look it up too. But also, we don't have New England Aquarium. And a lot of people want that, so you can look online and see who does have it, and your Clams card allows you to borrow it from any other Clams library.
So this is all new technology, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You can do all this from home?
You can do it from home, yep. From the Clams catalog, which is at www.clamsnet, so CLAMSNET.org. And actually, if you go to the library homepage, there's a link right there on our page to that. Another thing that's really popular, and some of the libraries on the Lower Cape have, is a pass to the National Seashore, so you don't have to pay for that either. So that's also a pretty good deal. You have to go to that library and get it, but that's pretty good. I wanted to, since we're talking about clams too, mention this is our 20th anniversary this year of live circulation. It took a few years to plan the network and enter everybody's records into the system, but it's been 20 years, and I just think you tend to forget what a great regional service it is. It's a consortium. It's not a county system, so policies differ from one library to another. It's not like we have a central governing authority. But the smaller libraries benefit because the larger libraries like Brooks, we have more nonfiction, more depth to our collection than a small library could have. And then the larger libraries also get something out of it because the smaller libraries have having less patrons. There'll be less people on the waiting list for a bestseller. So as soon as all their people have read it, those copies start going out to fill holds from the larger libraries' patrons. So everybody gets something out of it, and everybody wins. It's really a nice thing. And I think people don't always know, too, that you can borrow from any Clams library and you can return your items to any Clams
In
Library.
other words, you could go into the Chatham Library if you were in Chatham and get a book, and you could return it there.
Just as welcome there. Yeah, that's correct. And or you may borrow from Brooks and you haven't had time to return your book, but you have a doctor's appointment in Hyannis. You could drop it off at the Hyannis Library. Good luck dropping it off because there's no parking there. Not in the summer. But anyway, I think that's a nice regional effort that Clams has, and something before that, every little library was just pretty much on their own. So another thing I wanted to mention, we have a lot of books, obviously, and beach paperbacks. We have a whole wall of beach paperbacks for people to come in, pick up something to read at the beach, something that is not going to be a problem if it gets wet. And also the Friends have an ongoing book sale, and that's a great source to buy some cheap paperbacks too.
Well, are these downstairs as you go in the door from the parking lot?
That's right. They have some there, and then up between them on the mezzanine, between the first and the second floor, they have more nonfiction and biography, that kind of thing there. Mm-hmm. So 2 places to look. And finally, I just wanted to mention that some of the other things we have available, electronic resources, so things you can get online from home. Recently, our reference librarian, Jennifer Pickett, purchased access to consumer reports. So we have a couple copies available in the reference department, and people can always come in and look at that. But sometimes, it's the middle of the night, when it's still 85 degrees in your house and you're thinking, geez, I could use a window air conditioner. You might want to go online and look at consumer reports. And like a lot of websites now, they limit what you can get for free. And they'll give you some free information, but to get their more detailed reports, you have to pay for that access. So don't do that. The library has paid for that. So if you go to our webpage, and under the link for electronic resources, you'll find consumer reports, and you can search it from there and get access to all of their paid content. So that's really great. That's.
You have a lot of periodicals in the library.
Yes, we do.
You have the Wall Street Journal. You have innumerable. Now, can you do the same thing with those?
Well, you can. We actually pay for one of the databases we pay for, too, is called Newsbank, and it has an odd name of Boston Metro Collection, but it provides access to all the local newspapers, so you can look at the archives, the current issue, and the archives of the Cape Cod Chronicle, or the Harwich Oracle, or the Cape Cod Times. So a lot of local newspapers are there. The Oracle and, the Cape Cod are they're owned by community newspapers.
Yes.
And a lot of their articles are not archived. If you do a Google search on something, you'll see, it'll look like the article is there, but when you read it, there's there's only a couple sentences, and it's not available. Well, it should be available through the database that we pay for. Okay. So that's a nice service, too, and nice way for local information. We've also gotten another new database on career transition, so it will help people find jobs and create resumes. Another one is called P4A, which is an odd name. It stands for Price for Antiques, and it's guides to what different antiques and collectibles have sold at, hundreds of thousands of items across the country at different auction houses. So that's a nice source for collectors to look things up. We have others, you can look up, there's one called Books and Authors, it would tell you book reviews and author reviews or biographies, give you some ideas about if you like this author, what you might want to read next. Okay. So that's another good thing. A lot of health and wellness sources, too, which is, you can always just Google things and find out about a health condition, but you're not going to a reputable source always, and this would make sure that you're getting New England Journal of Medicine and the Mayo Clinic, things like that.
So you offer something more professional than what you might do from your home. In other words, just to go into Google doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the right information, but you provide a backup, like as you mentioned, the New England Journal of Medicine, right, so that you can rely more on what you're getting through the library.
That's correct. I read once that about 80% of medical information online is incorrect or has at least some inaccuracies in it. And, I do that myself. You look something up, the more you read about it, at least it should tell you some terms you can use to search. but you really still want to go to a reputable source. And if you don't know how to do that kind of searching online, come in and see our reference librarian. They'd be glad to help you and show you how to do those kind of searches from home. We have ebook help too. That's also very popular this year. We do that on Thursday nights from 5 to 6:30. So if people want to stop by and see what some of the ebook readers look like, and learn how to download the free library books to the e-reader, we have that available.
I'm just beginning to hear about that now. That's like the Kindle or something. Yeah. People who use that, they can get reference material to read at home, read through that Kindle book type thing through this eBay.
A lot of places, Barnes & Noble has the Nook,
yes,
and Amazon has the Kindle. And when you buy them, of course, they're trying to get you to buy their electronic content. Excuse me, it's the same as any bestseller or, any of the book they sell. So the library has a collection. It's not as big because we're just trying to grow that collection now. So you may find that, if it's, John Grisham's new book, it may be out to someone else and you have to wait 2 weeks for it. But there's also access to another 15,000 free titles, classics and things like that. So
you don't have to go without finding something to read.
That's right. That's right. We also have Freegal, which is a free music download service. You know how that content is protected and you're not supposed to just share that material without paying the provider,
royalty,
I guess.
or whatever
So
it is.
right, so we have that. And another online resource we have is called Mango, and it's an online language. Okay, online language program. We have 6 languages: French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and Russian.
Wow.
And you go online, and it's auditory and visual too. So, if you log in as a student, you can just be a guest. But if you log in, it will track your use, and so you come back and it knows where you left off, and that's a really nice service too. And
So
finally, I guess I should just mention that we have free public computers for people to use, and we have wireless there 24/7, and we have a second wireless hotspot at Brooks Academy Museum, so you can sit outside there. And I understand the community center, someone was just sitting over here using your wireless.
Yeah, I guess so. That is an awful lot of information, so we would just encourage you to replay this. We're on 12 times over the weekend, so if there's anything in particular that you would like to review, please catch us at 11 a.m., 6 or 8 p.m., Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, because Ginney has given you a lot to think about. It's hard to remember all of that.
And that's actually something, I worry a little bit about coming on and it ends up being a list of a pile of different things that we have available. Just as long as people remember that they might have heard something about that and call us. Our number is 430-7562. Or stop by and visit or check us out online. It's brooksfreelibrary.org.
Very good. Well, we hope that everybody gets something from this interview, and thanks to Ginney for coming on today.
Thank you.